What's up and good morning everybody. We out here on the boat today. I'm doing some wiring and whatnot. We actually wired in the radio. So I'm gonna flip you around here in 1 second, talk to you about how I wired it and why I wired it the way that I did, and then we'll kind of go from there. Previous video you can see why I wired the fish finder, chart plot, or whatever you want to call it, how I did, or why I did. But so this video is just going to mainly talk about why I ran the radio the way I ran the radio. So without further ado, let me get you flipped around. All right, so we out here. So this is how I got it finally set up. You know, this is going to end up that's going to end up tying into my light switch for when I'm out shore or, you know, on the boat at night. I still got to patch these holes, but you know, like I said, our main focus today is just this guy right here. So I ran everything how it was when I took out the old one, which is right there. Kind of shitty. That's just my power probe. But anyways, so that used to be over here. This GPS wasn't here. This one was a GPS. So I took out the old one that didn't work, put the new one in. They had to run the power wires to the actual battery for that. They couldn't use or figure out how to get the fuse panel inside the console, which is in there, I'll show you that in a second, to work. I kind of ran into the same issue, but I ran the wires up out of the way, this way, back behind, zip tied them up. I actually zip tied one right here so it wouldn't move. And wire them all behind here, and then we can turn this on.
Sun Glow Pier. Low tide Thursday 8:10 a.m.
So what this is doing is just kind of giving you a rundown of what's on there and what's not on there. Which is pretty cool. Well, what I'll even use it for
Thursday 8:25 a.m.
I will make sure that it all works.
Tide
The
Thursday
button does
at
work like you
9:27.
should see.
High tide Friday
You can
at
also
2:55
run
a.m.
and test it out, like before you
Serving
go offshore,
Melbourne
like,
and
hey, you want to
vicinity.
call in?
This is
call
NOAA Weather
in,
Radio
stuff like that to
Station
make sure it works.
WXJ70,
But
the voice of the National Weather Service.
there's that.
This broadcast comes to you from the National Weather Service office in Melbourne, Florida, on a frequency of 162.55 megahertz. A required weekly test of the NOAA Weather Radio public warning system is conducted each Wednesday between 11 a.m. and noon. If severe weather is expected, this test will be postponed until the following day. This is NOAA Weather Radio Station WXJ70 Melbourne.
So I'm going to turn that off for now, and let's follow these down this way. So ran them down that way, put them down over there, and then we came into the panel over here. It's not really working all that great because of all the corrosion and stuff, so I'm going to have to buy a new panel, which isn't that big of a deal. I'm just going to have to trace wires and make sure they get plugged back in how they should be plugged back in. But anyways, for this video, we're only talking about the wires that I just ran. So originally they were ran to right here. That's the negative, and then that was your positive, those two right there. And I did put them there and they did not work, so I pulled my power probe out and hooked it up to the battery and put power to the actual power side, which would have been this one right here, and it kicked on with no issue. So I know that it's getting a good ground, but it's getting an intermediate power signal. So I ended up just running it straight to the power post, which is that one right there. And you can see the blue connector is the new wire, And I pretty much did the same thing for this side. This blue connector is a good one too. So hooked them up to the power to negative, and then ran it back up, hooked it all back together, and it worked just like it should. So that's what I did for this video, or for today. Now I'm gonna go figure out my oil feeding issue. I haven't really had a chance to work on that too much, but now that I have the whole day to actually look at that, I'm going to do that. So if I do figure it out, I'll, you know, make a video on that. If I don't, then I'm gonna end up having to do that another day and figure out, or get parts and figure out what I haven't done. But so far I'm just gonna keep that for that video, this for this video. But that's about it for right now. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a fun weekend that's coming. 2 days. By the time this video posts, it'll probably be 1 day. But I'm happy you guys are staying tuned and watching. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay happy, chase them dreams. Anything's possible, guys. See you on the next one.